Discussion on the Kiss Hello. Where would the group like to start?
Kramer.
What did you observe in Kramer?
I mean, good question. I don't have like a specific psychiatric diagnosis for him today. Maybe I'll come up with one, but like definitely like not a respect for people's personal boundaries. I observed that with him.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody?
I also think that like he doesn't have a filter when he talks, and that's kind of like the basis of his story.
Yeah, so certainly that's related, right? And for those who have either recall his past behavior during this rotation, or as Seinfeld fans have watched perhaps online seasons, do we think this is a recurrent pattern of behavior? Is this something that is new and therefore acute in onset? Recurrent, right? So, and we talked before about how Kramer probably demonstrates aspects of a personality disorder, and a personality disorder from the cluster A. His use of fantasy as a maladaptive defense, the creation of an imaginary world, certainly appears to be consistent with the schizoid personality. But then again, he has magical thinking as well on some of these episodes, or in some of these episodes, and therefore the consideration of schizotypal personality has to also be considered. And I think this is what's going on yet again. Do we think that in this episode, again, for anybody who may have watched previous episodes, there's evidence of any psychosis? Because anytime we discuss any aspects of cluster A traits, and therefore cluster A personality, especially schizotypal personality, we have to identify that is, the personality disorder is a significant risk for developing a psychotic disorder. So schizophrenia and other psychotic disorders. So as a clinician, we always have to ask. If the answer is no, fine, we continue to appreciate that risk, but then focus our treatment or management on the personality disorder. So, any evidence of psychosis in the Kiss Hello? Hallucinations, perceptual disturbances, delusions, fixed beliefs, disorganized behavior, pacing, repetitive behaviors, disorganized communication, tangentiality, circumstantiality. No. So there we have it. We'll continue to discuss this character in the context of cluster A personality. Again, magical thinking, eccentricity, we think schizotypal. Schizoid individuals who are emotionally detached. And then to fill out the rest of the category, the paranoid personality, the individual who has a pervasive distrust and pervasive suspiciousness of others. He definitely demonstrates that in episodes as well. Okay? Perhaps not the Kiss Hello, but other episodes as well. Other behaviors you observed in Kramer in this episode?
He could be unpredictable because they expected him to like comment on her hair, but he ended up liking it.
Yeah.
Or saying like boosting her confidence more.
Yeah, and that's consistent with any, I think, human behavior. We were surprised. I mean, in watching this for the first time, that due to his lack of filter, he didn't. So that's well within the realm of normal human behavior, that people can actually do things, believe things that we would not expect them to. So I don't put much stock in that, or think much about what we see here, other than that it's completely normal for him not to continue or be 100% consistent with, in this case, perhaps a cluster A personality. Right? What other characters you want to discuss this morning? Jerry. What did you see in Jerry?
Intimacy issues.
How so?
He doesn't want to be kissed hello. He has like physical intimacy issues, which I don't really see. Even with his close group of friends, they don't really establish any physical contact with him like that. So I think he just has some sort of intimacy issues.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else?
I mean, I know we're supposed to be thinking of this as like maybe more pathologic, but I thought he was trying to enforce good boundaries, but the people around him were not respecting those boundaries, and he was socially punished for it. But I think it could be an example of boundary setting.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I think along those lines too, normal behavior versus something that would be abnormal, and if abnormal, that is outside of what would be culturally sanctioned. Whether or not it results in clinically significant distress or impairment in self or others, in Jerry or others, therefore we can call it disorder, right? So that's always the three-step progression. For Jerry, we've talked before, and I even think in this group, in this particular rotation, about some of his relationships and how he seems to, or at times is self-centered to the detriment of others. And I wonder if these are connected. So to the extent that this is someone who might present for help, we would have to examine that potential link between those past observations and how he seems to put himself in front of others. And therefore has that practice results in clinically significant distress, and this identifying his intimate issues or intimacy issues in the kiss hello, and so that's something we would have to examine too. If that, and he was referred to you for psychotherapy. What stage of Ericksonian development do we think Jerry would be at?
There's one, right? Intimacy versus something.
Intimacy versus something? So on a multiple choice test, which of course is your entire career, you get that correct. Anybody have an idea what we're talking about here?
Isolation? No.
Intimate versus isolation, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Is that consistent with where Jerry is chronologically?
Yeah.
Should this be is this an age-appropriate conflict for him?
No.
No?
No.
Yes. How old is he?
Isn't he like in his mid, like 20s to 30s?
Yeah.
25 to 30s.
Oh, I don't know if it's 20s, but I'll say 30s, right? 30s, maybe early 40s, but 30s. Yeah, midlife, right?
Yeah.
Or middle adulthood, I should say. If he successfully resolves this conflict in the sequel series, when we and Larry David team up and make millions, what would Jerry then address? What is the next Erickson stage?
Generativity or stagnation?
Yeah, right. So we'd expect him to go into midlife crisis, stagnation, as he would be, looking at the conflict with generativity. And then the eighth and final stage, just for test-taking purposes to make sure we talk about it. Yeah, I think you got, what is it?
I said despair.
Yeah.
What did you say?
I just said that.
Ego. Ego integrity versus despair.
Yeah.
Right? Good. All right. Well, you guys are set up at least for the last three stages of Ericksonian theory on the self-exam. Any other observations on Jerry in the kiss hello?
I just think it's funny that she mentioned the boundary thing because I think it's only with strangers. Obviously, there should be, but with his close people, I feel like there's absolutely no boundaries with the way Kramer just barges into his home, and he's friends with his ex-girlfriend, and even his relationship with his family. I feel like there's no necessary even what's the other guy's name, George. His relationship with all these people, there's no boundaries. That's why I was just like, he's got some physical thing, because the other people, they don't really, his close people, they don't establish that physical contact. But with strangers, when they do, obviously they're strangers, but not they're still acquaintances, like Wendy, he knows her, but he just has some sort of, I don't know why he's saying he has no boundaries with his real close people.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think what pushes this narrative forward is the way in which Jerry is that central core character for this friend group, this circle of friends of four, and how he treats them is significantly different than how he treats others. And certainly boundary issues come into context in that light. With regard to the kiss hello, literally what Kramer's trying to do, what's the relevance there? Why was it assigned for today? After all we just discussed, looking at this title and looking at the Kiss Hello as being the example of this boundary issue, whether it's Kramer or whether it's Jerry's perspective. At the end of this episode, who does he interact with and has that enlightenment?
Who?
Which one of his neighbors?
Wasn't it Kramer?
The
Yeah.
woman?
Who is it?
Oh,
What's the tagline in this episode? No? Somebody try to look it up?
No.
So nobody got it when he said it, right? I guess not. I'll give you a hint. With regard to the illusion, it would have been interesting if I had assigned 2 episodes, the other one being the suicide. And I apologize, I don't have the season or episode of the suicide.
Oh, was it Joan or something?
Yeah. I think we'll get back to that. As you're looking that up, what other characters want to discuss today?
Was it Mary?
Yeah. Yeah. So the tagline is actually from It's a Wonderful Life. Right. Which is why I think pairing Kiss Hello with the suicide would be interesting, because that Christmas time classic, the holiday classic, deals with issues pertaining to suicide and how suicide impacts the people around you.
It's my favorite Christmas movie.
It's a lot of people's number one,
Yeah.
yeah. So now you got a whole group now. You're going to be assigned to watch it, even though after today, for everybody in this room, pretty much, we have no more academic affiliation. I'm still going to hold you to it. So I have all your phone numbers. It's a Wonderful Life assigned. Again, a fantastic, albeit fictional depiction of the impact of suicide. All right. Closing comments. The Kiss Hello. What do we got?
Jerry's Nana is described to have an impaired perception of the past versus the present, so some sort of delirium, potentially.
Mm-hmm. What scene resonates most with you here?
They're talking about the story of winning $1,000.
Yeah.
I mean, her husband, winning the $1,000.
Right. Giving to his son. Oh, and we're not going to focus really on Uncle Leo for now. Let's focus on Nana. What do we think's going on here?
She's old. She's probably delirious.
Could be. Did we see her?
Did we see her?
Yeah. Is she in the scene?
Yeah.
Describe her.
Very pale, old, fragile. She actually seems very energetic, actually.
Yeah, I don't know if it's delirium versus like some sort of dementia.
Yeah.
Like dementia.
I think that's where we would start. Now, I think as a clinician, we have to think delirium. That should be at the forefront, because that's the potential life-threatening condition. But I think after seeing Nana and providing an evaluation as a viewer, we're probably going to decide this is a major neurocognitive disorder, right? Otherwise known as dementia. Now, we'd have to work up the cause. We would hope that it's reversible. But otherwise, I think Nana's subplot links quite nicely to the neurocognitive disorders. All righty. We'll leave it here.